Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today's video is going to be my everyday makeup drawer for the month of August. If you guys are new to these videos, it's basically just where I go through and I show you all the products that I'm going to be using throughout the month. I like to switch up my makeup every single month so I can rediscover old favorites, try new products, and just kind of rotate out my makeup collection so I'm not using the same products over and over. Before I jump into it, let me do a recap on the products in last month's drawer. If you're not interested, I'll put timestamps in the description box below so you can jump ahead and just see the products in my August drawer. So these are products I'm keeping in my collection. I'm just switching them out of my everyday makeup drawer. I definitely like all these products and I will continue to use them. I really like the Urban Decay Naked Skin, but it's a little too light coverage for me right now. I might go back to it in the fall time. And then of course, I love the It Cosmetics CC Plus cream. It's one of my favorite products, but I'm not really using it daily, so I'm just going to put it back into my makeup collection and reach for it when I want to use it. The CoverGirl 3-in-1 is not a cruelty-free product, but I had it in my collection. But again, the coverage just isn't really what I'm looking for, so I'll try it again in the fall, and if I don't like it then I'll declutter it. And then this is a great primer, but it's a little bit too mattifying for me right now. I've just been going for more of a refreshing primer, if that makes sense. So these are the ColourPop blushes and highlighters I'm taking out of my drawer. I love these products, but I really have been more into powder highlights, so I'm just going to put them back into my makeup collection. I really have to stop buying like ColourPop cream cheek products because they're really beautiful, but I've kind of discovered that I'm mostly a powder fan. So I am going to hang on to them because I love the color. I love just how they look on the cheeks, but I'm not going to buy any more of them, so I'm just switching them out for now. But I definitely recommend all of these. I love like the pink toned highlighters. I feel like they're really unique and beautiful. So if you've been looking to try one, all of these are going to be a great option. Flexitarian is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. So the products on the left are products that I'm keeping in my collection. I'm just switching them out of my drawer, and then the products on the right I'm actually decluttering. So let me start with the Smashbox Spotlight palette. This one is the Pearl palette. It's really beautiful. I'm definitely going to keep it in my collection. I'm just switching it out because I have so many highlighters in my everyday makeup drawer right now. I'm going to be decluttering the It Cosmetics Hello Lashes. I pretty much finished it up. I'm not going to purchase the full size just because it wasn't my favorite. I definitely prefer the Superhero mascara, but it was an okay mascara, just not worth the money in my opinion. And then I have the Pure Cosmetics powder that I love, but again, I have so many face powders in my drawer right now, so I'm just switching this one out. And then I'm actually decluttering this bronzer from Physicians Formula. I like it, but I don't like it enough to replace my butter bronzer, so I really don't reach for it very often. So it's time to declutter it. And then I did get a lot of use out of the Tarte blush in Tipsy last month, but it's a little bit bright for me right now, so I'm just switching it out. Moving on to some eyeshadow palettes. These are all palettes that I love. I will definitely not be getting rid of any of them. I'm just switching them out for something a little bit different. I use the Tarte Pro palette like every other month, but I'm just switching it out because I have so many palettes in my drawer right now. This Butter London palette is so beautiful. I was really surprised by the quality, but I think it might be more so of a fall palette for me, so I'm going to break it out again in a few months. And then I love this Milani palette. It is so good. I want to grab the other ones because it's one of the best drugstore palette formulations that I've ever tried. And then I have the Essence Nude Collection palette, which is really beautiful, but I have a lot of neutral palettes in my drawer right now. Then I have the ColourPop Pressed Powder palette. This one is the Blow Me Away palette. I'm just switching it out because surprisingly I haven't really been into super warm shadows this month, so I've been more into like neutral shadows rather than like bright pops of color. So I'm just going to put it back into my collection. And then these are all of the lip products that I'm switching out. From the Smashbox lip product to the left, those are the products I'm keeping. I'm just going to try them maybe more so during the fall. They kind of strike me more as fall colors. And then to the right of the Smashbox lip product are lip products that I'm actually decluttering from my collection. So starting with the lip products I'm keeping, I have the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips. I love all three of these colors, but when I swatched them or wore them this month, they weren't really like my go-to shades right now. I'm more into like warm tone nude. So I'm going to try them out again probably in September. And then same with the NYX Lingerie lipsticks. I really like them. I'm just not wearing these colors. This one is the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip, which is really beautiful, but again, more of a fall color. And then same with this Smashbox lipstick and this ColourPop Ultra Matte in Creeper. So I'm actually decluttering these ColourPop lip products. The first one is the Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Bestie. It's just a little bit too much of a warm toned pink for me. And then the Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Succulent expired. It just doesn't apply the same as it used to. So I have to repurchase Succulent because I really like it. And then I have 3 Buxom lipsticks that I'm actually going to be decluttering from my collection as well. The colors are really beautiful. The formula is really nice, but they've been in my drawer for a couple of months and I haven't really reached for them very often. So that's usually a sign that I need to declutter them and pass them along to somebody else who could get more use out of them than I have. Okay, so moving on to the products in this month's drawer, let's start with face products. These are all of my current go-to primers. The Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer is my favorite primer of all time. It is so good. And I've also been using this one from Too Faced. It's really refreshing on the skin and I like how it feels. So I've been enjoying this one. I recently started using the Smashbox Primerizer and it is so good. I talked about it in a recent video, but I cannot get enough of it. I'm going to use it in an upcoming video so I can chat more about it. But I didn't think this would be ideal for my skin type, and I have to admit it's been like my go-to primer lately, so I cannot get enough of it. And then of course I have the Milk Makeup Blur Stick, which has been my favorite throughout the entire summer. And then I'm trying out a couple of new primers this month. Nothing too crazy, but I have 2 from Catrice Cosmetics. The first one is a mattifying primer. I tried the one in the pink tube and I really liked it, but this one kind of sounds like it's geared toward my oily skin type, so I cannot wait to see if it works well for me. I swatched it and it feels like it's going to be mattifying. And then I have the Smoothing Refiner. I don't know if this one is ideal for my skin type, but I had it in my collection, so I thought I would try it out, see if it worked well for me, or if not, if I could recommend it to some of you who have a different skin type. And then moving on to foundations, I don't have too many. I have the Urban Decay All Nighter, which is my go-to. 1.0 is a little bit light for me, but I've been mixing it. And then I have the Urban Decay Velvetizer, which I have been mixing into my Urban Decay All Nighter. I'm filming my foundation routine today after I edit this video, so it should be up as one of my next videos using these products because it is such like a full coverage mattifying foundation routine, so I can't wait to share it. And then on days when I want more of a natural look, I'll actually mix this Tarte foundation with the Urban Decay All Nighter, which doesn't really sound like it would be really natural looking because they both are full coverage foundations, but there's something about them mixed together that looks so beautiful and so flawless in full coverage. And then I've been mixing in these Isden Sudic Skin Drops in the shade Sand because my Urban Decay foundation is a little bit light for me. So I did try out the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Compact foundation last month and I really like it. It's great for everyday wear. I'm still kind of testing it out, but so far it's a nice foundation. It's not my favorite, but it's good when I want more of a lighter to medium coverage. I am trying out the Smashbox Studio Skin Shaping Foundation this month. I've used it one time so far and I liked it. You guys know if you watch my videos that I am not a fan of cream contours, but I thought I would try it out because I love Smashbox products and surprisingly the contour looks so beautiful and so natural and it was so easy to use. So I can't wait to see if it becomes one of my favorites. And then moving on to concealers, I have my e.l.f. concealer palette. I have the Catrice Liquid Camouflage, which has been one of my favorites lately. The only downside is that they only have a couple of shades, but if they had a bunch of shades, I would totally recommend it as like my favorite drugstore concealer. And then I have the NYX HD Concealer, which I've been using for a while. I did recently repurchase it, so I've been using it a lot lately. Of course, I have the NARS Radiant Creamy, and NARS is no longer cruelty-free, so I'm trying to look for an alternative to it. I haven't found a dupe yet, but if you guys have any recommendations, I would love to hear from you. And then I've been using the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Concealer as well. It's a little bit dark for me, but I do really like this concealer. I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealers. I have 2 shades. Both of them are a little bit off. When I mix them, they look okay, but I do like this concealer whether I'm wearing a heavy coverage foundation or a light coverage foundation. So moving on to powders, I have the Kat Von D powder, which is my favorite. I've been using it so much that I hit pan on it, and I just think it's a really great option to use, you know, on top of foundation, or you can use it on its own. I have the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten, which isn't my favorite, but sometimes if my foundation's a little bit light, I'll use this one. And then I have the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat, which has also been one of my favorites. It's not quite as good as the Kat Von D, but it is a good drugstore affordable option. It's a little bit more lightweight and a little bit of lighter coverage. So if that appeals to you, you might like it. I do have this Bare Minerals duo that I got in a boxy charm, and I'm planning on doing a new series where I review all of the products that I try every single month from my subscription boxes, so stay tuned for that video. My first one will be up at the end of August, and I'll include all of the products that I get in my August boxes, but I'm trying this one out this month. And then I'm also trying out the NYX No Filter Powder. I got this one last month, but I didn't get a chance to try it out yet, so I wanted to try this one as well because a lot of people were recommending it to me, so I'll keep you guys posted and let you know if I think it is a good option. I did get this setting spray in a boxy charm, so I'm going to try that this month as well. And then I have a few products from Sweat Cosmetics, which I did talk about in a recent video. They make mineral makeup, and they sent me a few of their products to test out. So I have their mineral foundation, which is very lightweight, very light coverage, which you guys know isn't my go-to, but I'm still kind of testing it out for those days when I don't want to wear a lot of makeup, just something to even out my skin tone. And then they also sent me their translucent mineral powder too, which can go on top of any foundation, or you can wear it on its own. And then this one is the Illuminator. So I've tried them a few times. So far I like them, but I really have to try them out like consistently to give you guys like my full opinion on them. Okay, moving on to face products. So this is the ColourPop highlighter in the shade Might Be, and then these are all of the other highlighters that I have in my collection. I have been so into highlighters lately, I cannot stop wearing them, which is weird because I was never like a highlighting fan, but lately I cannot get enough of them. So these are all of my go-tos. I have one from Becca Cosmetics. This one is in the shade Champagne Pop. I have one from Ofra Cosmetics, which I actually got in a boxy charm. It's a really beautiful golden highlight. And then I have one from Hard Candy. I need to try more Hard Candy products. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below because I really would love to try more of their products. And then I just have an e.l.f. highlighter and my favorite Makeup Revolution highlighters. These are so good. If you haven't tried them yet, I absolutely recommend them. You will not regret it. They're so beautiful on the skin and they stay in place really well. And then the last one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter. I did grab the new one, so I'll include them in an upcoming video. I'm adding in two. I have these Vintage by Jessica Liebeskind highlighters that I got in boxy charms, so I'm just adding them into my drawer. I haven't really used them extensively, so I want to try them out this month and see if I love them. If not, I'll end up decluttering them because they've been in my collection for a little while. But the colors are really beautiful. They're definitely different than other highlighters I have in my collection, so I need to get some use out of them. As for bronzers, you guys, I haven't found anything that tops the Butter Bronzer. That's why I'm slowly decluttering the rest of my bronzers. If I use them in my everyday makeup drawer and I don't like them better than this one, I just end up decluttering them. So I'm sure like by the end of the year I'll have two bronzers in my collection because this one is so good. And then I have Benefits Hoola, which I'm just trying to finish up before the end of the year. Mine's getting a little bit weird. I think it's almost expired, so I'll try to finish it up this month and then it's time to go ahead and declutter it. So the only bronzer that I'm adding in is the Too Faced Bronzed and Poreless. I had it in my collection, and again, I'm just kind of trying to like weed out all of my bronzers and see if I like them. If not, I'm decluttering them because the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is so good. I haven't found anything that I like better than it. I'm also trying out the Catrice Prime and Fine Contouring Palette. I've actually tried this. I'm just adding it to my everyday makeup drawer so I can really get some use out of it because I did really like it when I first tried it out. So moving on to blushes, these are all of the blushes that I currently have in my drawer. I've been using the same blushes for like the majority of 2017, but this Too Faced blush is my absolute favorite. Nothing can top it. On top of that, these are kind of like my go-tos, so I'm not switching it up too much. I think I'm only adding in, well, I'm adding in a couple, which I'll get into in a second, but these are my go-tos. Benefits Dandelion, I did hit pan on it, and once I finish it, I will not repurchase it because they're not cruelty-free, but I love that one. And this one is the Buxom blush in the shade Intoxicate. It's so beautiful. It kind of looks like NARS Orgasm, but it is a cruelty-free option. The Tarte Exposed blush is one of my all-time favorites, and then I've really been enjoying this Catrice blush. It is an illuminating blush, so it looks really glowy on the cheeks. And then of course, you guys know that I love, maybe you don't, maybe you do, I love Milani's Luminoso. It's one of my favorite blushes, especially for summertime. I just have a couple of the ColourPop Pressed Powder palettes in my collection. This one is my all-time favorite. I believe it's still available. I love using the blush as well as the highlighter. Of course, the blush is a little bit more orange tone, so I mean, it just depends on your skin type, but Done Deal is also a great option because it comes with a really beautiful pink blush and peachy pink toned highlighter. highlighter. I actually have been using the Sweet Peach Glow palette, which is surprising because I didn't think I liked it, but it's very subtle on the cheeks, so if you want more of a natural look, it's going to be a good option for you, as long as it works well with your skin tone. And then I have the Smashbox Contour palette, which is my favorite contouring palette ever. So I'm just adding in a few blushes. I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Party. This one is just a sample size, which I got as the Sephora birthday gift a few months ago, and I just haven't worn it yet. And then I'm adding all 4 of the Physicians Formula Butter Blushes into my collection. I love these. They're so beautiful. They recently came out with 2 additional shades, so if the first 2 didn't work well for you because they were a little bit on the lighter side, the darker 2 might work well for you. They smell so good, they blend beautifully, and they just look really pretty on the skin, so I definitely recommend all of them. Okay, so moving on to eye products and eyebrow products, I have 2 Benefit Gimme Brow samples, which I'm trying to finish up. I love this so much. I haven't really been able to find something exact. The Make Me Brow is a good alternative, but it's just not as good. I just wish Benefit was cruelty-free. And then I have the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. It's just a sample of it, which is good. It's not my favorite, but I was testing it out again this month. And then I have the Catrice Smoky Matte Powder Liner, which has been one of my favorite products. It's so good. I'm trying to finish up this Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. It's just a good option, but it's not cruelty-free. And then I have the Essence Lash Princess Mascara, which is my all-time favorite mascara. It's so good. And the It Cosmetics Superhero, which is a very close second. This one's just a little bit more clumpier than the Lash Princess. The Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer in Light has been my go-to eyeshadow base, other than the Lorac one that I'm trying to use up. And then I have this eyebrow pencil from a BoxyCharm, which I'm using. I'm adding in the Too Faced Glitter Glue, which I haven't tried yet, but I can't wait to use it and see how well it works. And I'm also trying out these e.l.f. brow pencils. I'm trying to switch up my brow routine because obviously, like, I don't think I'm an expert at brows, but it's just not my favorite. So I'm trying to use some new products and see if I can discover something I love. And then I have some e.l.f. eyeshadows. I've been using these ever since the beginning of last month, and they're so good. I'm going to do a video using a bunch of e.l.f. products. I'm going to film it this week, so stay tuned for that video. I am incorporating a few ColourPop Super Shock shadows into my makeup routine this month. I saw some beautiful colors in my collection, and I've been neglecting them lately because I really love the pressed powder shadows, but these colors are so beautiful, I knew that I had to break them out again. And then these are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have in my drawer right now. I'm sure you guys have heard me mention them a lot, so I'll save you like all of the talking, but these are the ones that I'm currently using in the month of August. I need to get more use out of the Naked Smoky palette, and then of course I'm adding in the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I have been using it, but it is somewhat new to my collection, and I just cannot stop using it. If you are a fan of warm tone shadows, you need this in your life. I don't want to like hype up a hyped up product, but it is so good. And then I have the Modern Renaissance palette, which is one of my favorites, of course. And then I also have the ColourPop I Love Sarahi palette, which comes with some really beautiful pink shades, mauve shades, and purple shades as well. These are just my ColourPop Pressed Powder Shadow Palettes, which they're just like single shadows that I have, and I put them inside MAC palettes, but these are my go-to palettes. They're very blendable, very pigmented. And then I have the ColourPop Highlighter Palette, which is really beautiful. I think it's not as nice as like the Pressed Powder Duos, but they still look really beautiful on the skin. They're a little bit more subtle, and I've been enjoying it. And then I have the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette, which is one of my all-time favorites as well. So moving on to the palettes I'm adding to my drawer this month, I have the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette in the shade Holy Smokes. It's brand new. It's so beautiful. I cannot wait to wear those like green and blue shades, and I will use it in an upcoming video so you guys can see how well it actually works. But the Mad for Matte palettes are some of my favorites. They're great quality. Then I have the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette. The front of the palette's really cute, actually. It has like this loose glitter in it, but I'm curious to test this one out. I told you guys in a recent video, it was actually in an anti-haul video, and then they sent it to me, so I thought I would test it out and see how well it works. The texture is interesting. It's definitely like a pressed glitter instead of a glittery shadow, so I'm curious to use it. And then of course I have the Subculture palette. On the day that I'm like doing this voiceover, I'm going to test it out today for the first time. I've been seeing mixed reviews on it, so I'm a little bit curious to try it out, a little bit like disappointed because I know a lot of people don't like it. And I had high hopes for it because I love the Modern Renaissance, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you tried it yet? Did you get yours in the mail? You'll have to let me know in the comments below, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to try it today and see if I like it. So moving on to lip products. These are all the products that I currently have in my drawer. I have some of the Tarteist lip paints, just like 2 samples. And then I have a ColourPop lip liner in the shade BFF, which is my go-to liner. 2 glosses, which I'm trying to use up at the end by the end of the year. And then I have the Bite Beauty lip gloss. This is like an older gloss in the shade Rambutan. And then a bunch of the ColourPop Ultra Glossy lips, just in really beautiful nude shades. And then I have a few of the ColourPop Ultra Blotted lips, which I don't know, they're not my favorite only because they're not like my go-to colors, but the formula is interesting. So I'm trying out the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade K-Dub. It's really bright and beautiful, and I cannot wait to wear it. And then I have a few of the new Too Faced Melted Latex Liquefied High Shine lipsticks. So I have the shade Hopeless Romantic. This one's in the shade Peekaboo. Then I also have the shade Twilight Zone, which is a really fun purple, and also the shade Rated R. So I'm definitely curious to try them out. I will keep you guys posted and let you know if I think they are worth the price, because they are a little bit expensive. And then these are my go-to lipsticks. I have Smashbox, Milani, Buxom, Stila. These always like kind of remain the same in my drawer. And then on top of my vanity, I have a bunch of ColourPop Ultra Mattes, Ultra Satins, and Lippy Sticks, which these are just like good go-to nude shades that I really enjoy. And on top, I keep all of my ColourPop eyeliners, lip liners, all of my regular liners, and just a bunch of random products. So I have my e.l.f. Makeup Remover Pen, which is one of my essentials. And then I love the M Cosmetics liners. They're so good. I use them all the time. And then when I'm not using those, I usually reach for my Kat Von D liquid liner in the shade Trooper, which is another great option. Okay guys, that's the end of my video. This was a long one, but thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I wasn't going to film this video, but a lot of you said you really like to see these every single month. So this video is for those of you that enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I love you and I appreciate you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.